Hello there, adventurers. Ben,
Danielle.
Astro,
Rocky.
and you're watching Vlogmas 2021 here with the Melick Adventures, where each day we are reading a new story from the Storybook collection advent calendar that we found at
Burlington Coat Factory.
So make sure you're sticking around and listening into our wonderful stories. And make sure each day that you like the video.
Subscribe.
And comment down below your thoughts on what you liked about that day's story. But before we get too far into it, halftime is over, and it is time to start the second half of Vlogmas. The last 12 days. On the 13th day of Vlogmas, Melick Adventures read to me. I just dropped the book on the floor. Me. Me. Oh yeah, Asher's here today. Come on. Whoosh. Ooh, that was like 3D vision. Aurora's homemade holiday. Are you going to write us a book report on this one? Nope. Nope, okay. Here we go. One snowy December day, Princess Aurora and Prince Philip went for a stroll. As they walked, Philip noticed that the princess was unusually quiet. "Is something the matter?" he asked. "My aunts and I used to love Christmas time," she said. "The three fairies, Flora, Fauna, and
Merryweather,
had raised Aurora in secret and still thought of them as her aunts. "Let's invite them for the holidays," Philip said. "What a splendid idea," Aurora said. The next morning, Prince Philip sent an invitation to Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. Then he set off on a short trip to attend to some royal duties. Aurora was sad to see Philip go, but she tried to look on the bright side. Now her special Christmas preparations would be a surprise for Philip when he returned. Soon the good fairies arrived. Princess Aurora had a special request for them. "You want a Christmas exactly like the ones we shared at the cottage?" Flora asked. "That means we can't use magic." "You'd better take our wands so we're not tempted to use them," Fauna said to Aurora. But the wands were too hard to catch and zoomed around the room. They did not like the idea of being put away. "Shall we decorate?" Aurora asked. She led the fairies to baskets of evergreen garlands, ornaments, and pretty bows. "Let's start trimming the tree," Merryweather exclaimed. "We should hang the evergreen garlands first," Flora said. Aurora knew that waiting for her aunts to agree on something could take all day, so she suggested that she and Flora put up the evergreen garlands while Fauna and Merryweather decorated the Christmas tree. Soon Aurora and the fairies moved on to the kitchen. It was time to begin baking their Christmas treats. "I can't wait until Philip tastes your special layer cake or the Christmas jam rolls," said Aurora. "We'll need lots of red frosting," Flora announced. "Green frosting is prettier," Merryweather said. "We'll use both," Aurora declared. Because we all know that Merryweather's the green one, Flora's the red one, and Fauna's the blue one. Right?
Merryweather is
Hoodoos.
blue.
The next morning over breakfast, Aurora and the good fairies talked about a gift for Philip. "I want to give him a homemade present," Aurora said to her aunts. "But what? How about a shirt? Flora suggested. But I don't know how to sew, the princess replied sadly. We'll show you how, Merryweather said. Lots of one-pagers in this book. Aurora smiled. Do you remember the stockings you sewed when I was a little girl? She asked. Of course, Flora said. We forgot to stitch up the bottoms, and the gifts fell out. You'd say, look, her stocking is empty. We'd better fill it up with more treats, Aurora said, chuckling as she remembered the happy time she had shared with the fairies. All morning the fairies worked with Aurora, teaching her how to cut fabric and how to sew a shirt. Oh dear, the princess said when she looked down at her sewing. This shirt isn't looking quite right. The fairies quickly set aside their own projects to help Aurora with Philip's shirt. It's okay, Aurora. I don't know how to sew either.
I used to.
When Aurora finished Philip's gift, the fairies helped her get ready. The prince would be home soon. The fairies made a crown of holly for the prince's hair. Next, they had to decide what she would wear. Flora suggested a red dress. Merryweather preferred a blue one. Then Fauna held up a beautiful purple gown. Remember, red and blue make purple. The dress was perfect. Even Flora and Merryweather had to admit the purple dress looked lovely on the princess.
Sorry guys, I'm laughing at Astro.
He's being ornery. The last thing Aurora had to do was wrap the prince's gift. Once again, she asked for the fairies' help. When they were finished, the princess placed the present under the tree. That afternoon, Prince Philip arrived back at the castle. Aurora was eagerly awaiting for him. Close your eyes, she said with a sly grin, and don't open them until I tell you to. Aurora led Philip into the grand hall where Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather were waiting. Philip looked around. Crooked wreaths dangled from the walls. The Christmas tree was decorated only on one side. Lopsided cakes, burnt tarts, and misshapen cookies filled the table. I've never seen preparations like these before, Philip said politely. I can see why you find them so special. Try a lemon tart, Aurora said. Philip took one and nibbled it. Suddenly a strange look came over his face. The lemon tart tasted horrible. Oh dear, Fauna said. We must have forgotten the sugar. How do you forget sugar? Ugh. Aurora handed Philip his gift. One more surprise, she said. A shirt, the prince exclaimed after opening the box. But when Philip tried on his present, the princess and the fairies burst into laughter. Oh dear, that's certainly not the right size, Aurora said. The sleeves were far too long. Aurora knew her Christmas wasn't perfect, but sharing a homemade holiday with Philip and her aunts had made it the best run Aurora could remember.
Aww.
The end. Ah, that one touched a heartstring. Homemade Christmases are always the worst. Unless you do them right. Then they're the best. In this case, A for effort. But thank you again for joining us for another Vlogmas. This was day 12. 13. So we are getting there. But until next time, friends, make sure you stay safe.
Stay magical.
And keep adventuring. We'll see you on the next Vlogmas.
Bye.